Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to USC 2022. It's one guy back once more as we get underway with the round of 16 weekend. We're kicking things off today on day one of this 2-week affair of this round with two teams that we did not get to see in the initial round of the tournament this year. Team Florida, of course, won via forfeit against Team Wisconsin. And Pennsylvania was unfortunately at a time that did not allow them to be on stream. But they did manage to defeat Team Michigan by a 5-2 score to advance onward into the round of 16. Which we'll be getting underway in just a few short minutes here. Got a pretty stacked couple of weeks here. There's a bunch of good matches coming up in these two rounds, but they're apparently going to be very compressed, as you can kind of see there on the screen from the schedule. You have a couple matches here and there today, and then tomorrow it's just like all evening matches. Everyone wants to play late night Sunday night, I guess. So those will be coming up for you tomorrow. This is the only match in this block, unsurprisingly. One of the earlier matches you're probably going to see at 1:30 p.m. local time. For the teams playing. Florida, of course, new look team this year. Exotic Digital, Hypno, and Almighty Door remaining from their championship team from 2021. Rampton, Crescento, Araxi in to replace the departing members from that team. Fully half the roster switched out. Pennsylvania, I believe some new members as well. Captain Armani, Dilbo. They'll have Koa, Bunny Like Money, Akishantara, C-Main, and Mommy, which is quite the name. And I believe we're going to be without Koa today, so that'll be pretty rough on them. He is, I think, pretty safe to say their highest skill player. And we are quickly here getting underway with the first warm-up, so we'll show this because I know they were very anxious to have this shown on stream. This is I believe this is a custom mapped warm-up map, unless I have been fooled. So this should be somewhat fun. You've got Giant Charlie in the background. Florida Man by Blue Oyster Cult. We're taking it back to, I don't know, like the 60s or something. Actually, maybe 70s? When is this song from? Hang on, we gotta find out. This is from... Wait, this is from 2020? I didn't know they were still making music. No shot. What? This is apparently off of an album that was released in 2020 called The Symbol Remains. It's their 15th studio album. My brain is exploding. I had no idea Blue Oyster Cult was still making music. This is their first album. God, I mean, like, one of their members died in, like, the early 2010s, right? Holy crap. You learn something new every day, I guess, here at USC, which apparently includes discovering that Blue Oyster Cult is still making new music. Oh, wow. All right. Off to a good start here today. But yeah, so as mentioned, Pennsylvania 5-2 winners over Michigan in the first round. A little bit surprised, I think, at that result, in that I did not personally really expect Michigan to take 2 points. Based on what I had kind of heard about this Pennsylvania team's strength in early rounds, and not knowing what Michigan was going to look like this year after losing several players from previous teams, including the two best players from the state over its history in the same year. But they did manage to take a couple of points off of this Pennsylvania team. So we'll see how they rebound. It's a Florida slider. It's a Florida slider. That's wonderful. Oh, that's fantastic. State sliders. There's nothing quite like state sliders, dude. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so this is gonna be our first sighting of this year's Florida roster, and you know, I think it doesn't. I don't know that it necessarily lives up 100% to the expectation of last year. You know, coming off of a win, the first non-California team to win USC. You know, you can imagine that the motivation level after you finally climb to the top of the mountain may drop off a little bit. I do think they're still going to be probably a top 4 team worst case scenario, but we will see how the tournament plays out for them once you really get into those late rounds against some of the stronger other rosters. They did end up in, I think, what you could argue is the easier half of the bracket. Number 1 seed NorCal, you know, kind of boosted by players who are really high rank in solo but don't have a lot of results in tournament play. A very weakened Virginia squad compared to the past. Carolina, which is, I would almost argue, kind of an overseed at the 5th seed. I don't know that I agree that I would say their seed matches up with where I would expect them to end up placing. I think that's probably a top 8 team at best, not a top 5, top 6 team. Meanwhile, the bottom half is, you know, Ohio, SoCal, Texas, a new look Washington team that added Monco in the offseason. I think, you know, the bottom half is going to be a meat grinder over the next couple of weeks in the winners bracket. There are some really intense matchups that you're going to be seeing down there, whereas I think Florida has a pretty straight shot into semifinals, and I think we'll be able to deal probably well with North California. I would expect that match to be the semifinal in the top half, and I would expect it to be a pretty good one. But of course we'll get there, you know, a little bit down the road. Still got a few weeks away. Anything can really happen as we get a little Shirazaka Kome Saisaki AIM warm-up map. This is like kind of a legit warm-up if you want to play AIM, so I don't know if that's maybe on the plan for Pennsylvania, is that, you know, we're going to be seeing AIM maps out of them or what, but this map has these like repeating patterns that are just, it's not good. Like the mapping is so just jump practice, but like it definitely warms up your AIM. Mani Dilbo always picks AIM warm-ups. Interesting. Does that mean he takes warming up seriously, or does it mean that he just likes playing jump maps? This is going to be, I think, the first time the tournament scene has seen Digital Hypno since OWC last year. And before that, it was just USC as well. He's really, well, I guess NAT. Player that obviously is historically known as an incredibly successful performer, but has really cut back on tournament play. So we'll see if there's any sort of rust to be had from any of these members who haven't played in a while. The world's most successful Floridian. Do not fact check this data. Do not look up the state from which like half of the PGA Tour resides, among other lots of stuff, and just sports is what comes to mind. The only way I can play this map is to rate change it down. Bunny Like Money is simply goated. Yeah, these are some new players that I personally just have not gotten a chance to see play at all. Like I said, we obviously we weren't able to stream their match last week, and it's a couple of guys who have not been around a ton in the tournaments that I personally have followed. So this will be maybe a little discovery for us all today. We'll see. That's about all we got, though. As I said, this is going to be a lone match this afternoon. We'll see if it is able to stand on its own merits. I think it should be. And that is the late breaks coming in when we go through the warm-ups. And in we venture, then, to our roles and our bands and all that stuff. The first match played, of course, on the new pool. Well, round of 16 map pool, as released last Monday evening. Which you can now, well, my chat is not, there we go. Which you can now see. Roll one by none other than XRX of Florida will have choice of first or second pick or ban. They're gonna do second pick. So they'll allow Pennsylvania to choose whether they want first or second ban. And then we'll get started with those choices. It's gonna be second ban for Pennsylvania. I think those are kind of the meta. It feels like a lot of teams over the past couple of years have really transitioned to preferring both second pick and second ban. Give away as little information as possible and allow yourself to get the last pick in a match if it does go to tiebreaker. You can definitely see the strategic advantages there, and a lot of teams are using that to its fullest. And Florida, with that first ban, is going to interestingly enough ban out Nomad 2. Do not want any stream players to play streams. Florida's... Why is it... Hello? That's weird. Florida feels like their Nomad 2 is just not as good as it's been in the past. I feel like they were at least, worst case, decent at streams previously, but... maybe a little stronger in the past on Nomad 2 in there now. Nomad 5 ban from Pennsylvania. Thank God. Now we don't have to have that song on for 4.5 minutes straight. Like, what? No, client, we're not playing this. Go away. Stop. Okay. Yeah, Nomad 5, very, very long low approach rate. It's actually easier than last round's Nomad 5, as we discussed during the showcase. I think difficulty overshot just because last week's was CS time. That was kind of the whole story there. But instead, we're gonna go with the Nomad 5 ban. We're gonna go with the DT1 first pick, and we're gonna get started with a pretty comfy type of map for I think a lot of these players. I believe Pennsylvania. I know they played some DT last week against Michigan. I don't recall the order of picks in that one offhand, though. But it is going to be Kami Tosenritsu, the collab insane difficulty. So you're starting off with a 2 minute 30 second, 240 BPM, AR10. Oh god, oh god. Oh god. Yes, I know, Osu, please. Okay, I hate this client so much because now I can't fix this. Okay, hang on just a second. Okay, we are fixed. Sorry about that. I hate the way this client works. Like, if you accidentally just touch the width of that client, it screws up everything. All right, the Jelly Chefs are all coming out. I don't know where our MP start is. It should be here soon. There we are. All right, spring code. But yeah, 240 BPM, Air 10. You know, relatively comfortable. It's a DT1, you know, and we're in a relatively early stage of the tournament still. So this isn't going to be anything over the top in terms of difficulty. It's got relatively comfortable aim and some bursts and such as well. And it's not even up to like Air 10.3 or anything yet. We're not going crazy. So we are comfortably beginning with this pick. It's XR Grampton, Crescento, and the warm-up roster. Armani Double C main and Bunny. Really break for Rampton. So he's like on this team because of his DT and speed ability. Not what you want to see that player missing early on a DT pick. But plenty of maps still. A little worried about his accuracy and the early miss. It's a small lead, but Pennsylvania looking pretty comfortable. See how long they can hold this three-way. We're almost halfway in. It's pretty short. And there are no breaks on that side of the screen at all yet. As I say that, it has to happen. Armani finds the first miss for Pennsylvania. Not a good place to miss. Exactly halfway through. Gonna drop that score by a fair amount, and Florida takes the lead very quickly back. So situations with these top teams, you can't afford misses, because if you give them an inch, they will absolutely take a mile. And you see the score lead running out over 200,000 points just off of one break at the wrong time in the map. And you get hard score capped to 600, 700K with that miss being where it was. Rampton finds a second break that does open the door up just a little bit for Pennsylvania. Whether or not there's enough time is going to be the question on their minds. If XARC and Crescento continue to hold down the FCs, especially with the accuracy that they're maintaining with C-Main down at 96 in a break. I missed his break. That explains the score. I apologize. I look away for 2 seconds and I miss a break. It's not going to be enough time no matter what then with a double FC against just one FC and a half combo. And Florida break point by 400K. Never in doubt that one. Double FC for XARC and Crescento with quite solid accuracy from both, just shy of 99%. Armani Double ending up on the 99% act, but unfortunately the slider break at literally the exact worst possible time. Not much to be done about that. Break it 540 combo of a 950 combo map, it's not going to go well for you. That score drops all the way down to 758K just on the back of one the slider break, and that really just made the difference, unfortunately, for them. And we will go Florida first pick, and they're going to switch things up about as much as they can be switched up. We're going to go from DT1 to Hidden 2. You know, I don't know that there are two more different skill sets. The fastest, in terms of BPM at least, of the DT picks, over to a pretty slow, reading intensive Air 8 hidden pick. 170 BPM, lots of overlaps in this one. That's a big portion of the difficulty really does come from that just reading overlap skill set. That's all it comes down to. I think Florida probably feels very comfortable with this skill set against a lot of teams. And in the past, I can't say I traditionally think of Pennsylvania as like a heavy reading team. We'll see how they are with that skill set on this roster. As Koa comes in. Okay, they said he was gone. He is clearly not gone. So we have been trolled. Koa is indeed here. Maybe he just wasn't here for like the first one map. I'm not sure. But it's a switch up for Florida. 3 for 3 there. Araxi, Digital Hypno, and Door all coming into the lobby. C-Main Armani Dilbo staying in, but Mommy. Oh man, I really have to commentate a guy named Mommy, huh? It's kind of base that he was able to get that username though. Like, I really would have thought that would have been gone a long time ago. But away we go. Second pick, Florida's first. Air8 hidden. They were pretty strong on just about everything last year, and that did include reading maps. Shoutouts to Golfley Ice Cream Princess, Sweetie, Digital Hypno, Nomad 6 FC. But we'll see how things go for them in this skill set this year. We'll also see how they go for Pennsylvania. We're starting out at least making it through the first couple hundred combo, which is, you know, all you can ask for when there's only been a couple hundred combo in the map. There you can see those slider overlaps. They go perfectly back over the preceding slider. You have to be very careful with your reading and cursor control. Fortunately, with the BPM being relatively low, you don't have to make those super fast cursor movements. They're not like jumps or anything, but you get into some of these long cross-screen sliders and back and forth sliders, and that's where some trouble can be had as you get into the Ki and find C-Main and Armani Dill with a couple breaks right away. Those cross-screen sliders, like, are strangely easy to miss. You wouldn't, I mean, at least for me, I don't know that you would necessarily expect it, since it's like not a super high of slider velocity and it's a low BPM, but when you throw in the reading component of it, it kind of ramps up the difficulty a little bit. And unfortunately for Pennsylvania, C-Main and Armani Dilbo both were caught out, and C-Main not having a great time with his act now either. He's had a little bit of a chain miss at the end of the Ki, right into the next section. Meanwhile, Florida holding strong to the triple FC. C-Main breaking once again, another couple of act drops for him too. Raxi Digital Hypno Almighty Door, just looking ever so comfortable on this early round low AR. And right as I say that, Araxi breaks. That is a tough reading section of the map, as you see. Araxi Almighty Door, C-Main all breaking. Mommy Digital Hypno hold, as well as Armani Dilbo trying to reestablish some combo. Fortunately for Florida here, they have that 500,000 point lead in their back pocket. And if you miss on the hardest part of the map, it's kind of safe to assume that at least one person on the other side is probably going to have missed there as well, as was the case with C-Main. This could have gotten really interesting if he had held and it was Florida with one FC matching an FC, but two pretty decent combos over on Pennsylvania's side. But unfortunately, that was not the case. Florida had too big of a lead already, and they do still have a solid FC coming into the ending. The lead will be a little bit smaller than it could have been otherwise, but it's a comfy one nonetheless. And that's going to be the 2-0. It's going to be the early consolidated break point by a 500,000 point margin. It's going to be Florida taking that 2-0 advantage into into Pennsylvania, second pick. A solid FC from Mommy. He definitely pulled his weight for the Pennsylvania team on that pick. But unfortunately, not the best run for C-Main. Would have preferred a little better result for himself, I'm sure. Sometimes things happen on tough maps like this. Armani Dilbo, again, just a slider break at the wrong time. 630 combo slider break on a 930 combo map. Not even able to reach 700k. Fixed in laser, by the way. Actually, it's not fixed in laser. It's even worse in laser. Who am I kidding? So after the DT1 first pick lost from Pennsylvania that they could have won if a couple things had gone their way, curious to see if they go, you know, one of the two directions you can go after that. You know, do you stay in the DT pool and go for, you know, other high BPM stuff? Or do you maybe go something aim based? Do you like pick one of the two, you know, kind of forks from that exact pick? Or, you know, obviously the third option would be something completely different. You know, at this point, I imagine you're probably just trying to pick stuff you are comfortable with rather than trying to pick an opponent's weakness. You know, you never know what they're going to be comfortable with necessarily. Also, as a remark to chat, I'm not talking about fixing laser regarding slider accuracy because there is slider accuracy in Score V2, which is what we're using. The joke there is that the expectation was for accuracy to be even higher weighted in laser, and if you look at some recent screenshots and stuff that have been posted on Twitter, that is not the case at all. Or if you've watched the COE matches, it's really not the case at all. It's it's actually worse in terms of like how it weights combo and accuracy. It's really, really bad. But anyway, hopefully that gets fixed over time before it's released, and that's what we're forced to play on. And while we wait, Pennsylvania picks a little hard rock number 1, Shining Saver. Very long, this one, 4 minutes 9 seconds of 183 BPM. Consistency aim. And this is interesting because it's actually like slightly larger circles than you normally would see on a hard rock pick. This one is CS 3.5 no mod. 4.3 or 4.55 after hard rock is applied. But again, just a mostly very friendly to players consistency aim hard rock pick. There's a bunch of streams, but they are pretty comfortable to play. It's not anything overly difficult, especially, you know, with it being early on. We're not going to see anything that's overly difficult in any slot. But Pennsylvania, you know, like I was discussing, you know, if you felt decent about DT1, there was probably one of two reasons. It was either the aim or it being, you know, a high BPM pick. And it looks like Pennsylvania is saying it was about the aim. They do get an early break on Koa, but it's not going to be the end of the world. They were 40 combo into a 4-minute long map, so no big deal there. It's XR Crescento Digital Hypno against Koa, Bunny, and C-Main. Pennsylvania running with a reduced roster, it seems like, possibly today. And Digital Hypno, an early break as well. Lead will head on over to the Pennsylvania side at this very early juncture, pretty shortly here. Another break from Digital Hypno. Interesting. We'll see if he can get it together over the course of the map. Unusual to see him having any sort of difficulty with early round picks. Usually very steady and consistent on these types of maps. But as we make our way through this first key eye time, it is Pennsylvania running out to about a 25,000 point lead. It's going to be Bunny Like Money, the next to break for Pennsylvania on those back and forths at the end of the key eye. So combo and score lead will quickly go on over to Florida. Unsurprisingly, Xark leading the way in accuracy. Very, very solid hard rock ac from him much of the time, up at 99.39%. Crescento not too far behind. Digital Hypno doing what he can to recover. What's hurting Pennsylvania as much as anything else, as well as the couple breaks, is the fact that their accuracy is much lower than Team Florida's. 96s on C-Main and Koa, despite their large combos. Not the greatest when you consider they're up against 99 and 98. Digital Hypno bringing the team average act down just a bit, but it's not really the end of the world when you look at, you know, the holistic context in the match. And that is continuing to help Florida hold on to this small lead with a double FC versus one FC and a very near FC. The direct competition for Digital Hypno is kind of Bunny Like Money at this point, who he is behind thanks to the accurate difference between them, but it's going to be C-Main finding a break, and that's really unforgivable, unfortunately, at this stage. And he under-aims that burst right after it. And another. Oh, the aim just fell apart for Seaman at the end of that Ki. That was really unfortunate to see. Those misses were all under aims on those bursts. And that's going to be very damaging to Pennsylvania. Drops his act down even farther. Obviously, no combo, no score. And again, we're at that, halfway to 2/3 mark where you just get score capped. Even if you held good ack, your score is going to drop. When you drop the ack and the combo, you're going to be put in a very difficult place. And now Florida will see the score at this break. A quarter of the map left to go. 2 FCs on the board. 1 big combo backing them up. A 200,000 point lead. All of the cards are just falling in Florida's favor. This is looking ever more like a second break point early on in this match. Bunny like money with the under aim on the vertical jumps. And it is all home free now for Florida. 400,000 point lead. That's only going to continue to grow. Koa trying his best after the break at the very beginning, but he even finds a break at the near end on a stream. And this score might not be fully representative of just how one-sided this pick is at this point. 700,000 point win. Okay, well, late break from Digital Hypno, but that score is going to go up a little bit at the end. Yeah, that is ugly, unfortunately, for Pennsylvania. A near 900,000 point defeat on their own pick. Leading the way, Exarch with a 99.46 ack full combo. Just, I mean, what can you do? That is a very, very strong play from the captain of Team Florida, showing what they are made of on every type of map you can throw at them. Crescento, the second FC for Florida as well. 98.5 ack, doing solidly also. That's just a very, very good team score. It's going to give them a 3-0 lead. As it turns out, the defending champions are still pretty good. I know, it's crazy, but you don't win for no reason. This ain't no hobby. They may have had to replace Cappy Fleslin and Skill, but it looks like they picked more than adequate choices. And it's going to be their own second pick now, so opportunity for Florida to consolidate a double break point and take a boatload of match points into the next pick from Pennsylvania. It's going to be DT3 as the selection. So we dip back into the DT pool once again with Septet for the Dead Princess, the instrumental version mapped by Mafia Master a long time ago. We head back all the way to the bygone era of 2009 for this CS5 Air 9.67 200 BPM finger control test. That if the previous maps are any indication, Florida will be just as good at as every other skill set that has been thrown their way. When you go through a match and you go, DT aim, hidden reading, hard rock aim consistency, and now you go DT finger control, Florida staking their claim early on as a team that's going to remain very well-rounded if they can continue to win these picks the way they have been. It does appear that we'll be seeing Exarch Crescento and Araxi, captain plus the 2 newcomers, or 2 of the newcomers, like on DT1. Seaman Armandi Dilbo and Team Mr. Mommy for Pennsylvania. So Florida replacing Ramton from their previous DT roster with Araxi for a very different type of DT map. And away we go. Pennsylvania could really use a big break point here if they want to try to get into this match. If not, well, things look very grim for them, going down 4-0 in pretty dominant fashion. And we already have come across a couple of early breaks for the Pennsylvania side. Mami and Armani breaking in the first 80 combo. Just that little bit of added finger control in this with some doubles mixed in can be that, you know, that little bit of trickiness that you don't always get in DT maps. And C-Main, as well as Mami, not having the greatest time. And with us already being halfway through, it is already a 400k lead for Florida. It's a triple FC on their side against just the lone combo on Armadillo, not even an FC. Once again, putting forward an S rank. We'll see if he can hold on to that. But this is, again, so far in the map, about as one-sided as it gets. Mami with the eek in smoke. Yes, unfortunately, Florida. They're spooky. Technically speaking, they're the final boss of USC as the defending champions. They're the last trainer you gotta face in the Elite Four. Crescento, unfortunately, seeks out a late miss, but it is nonetheless a 3 million point score. It is a 1 million point win. It is a 4-0 lead. And in what could have maybe on paper come out as at least a somewhat competitive match just due to the early round nature, is not manifesting that way. It's going to be the last of the double times as what may be the final pick of this match. Five picks, 3 DTs. We know where these teams' bread is buttered, I guess. He can retour Riverside View. So we go from 201 BPM finger control to 232 BPM. More stream stamina. This is also a relatively old map, but it does not feel its age quite the same way that Septet did. Yeah, this is from 2012, but, you know, it has that more modern side of 2012 feel to it that we kind of touched on back during the showcase. You know, there's some 2012 maps that feel like 2009, 2011 maps, and there's some 2012 maps that feel like 2013, 2016 maps. And this one definitely falls on the kind of the right-hand side of that divide, in my opinion. So it's a little more user-friendly in terms of the way the map is structured. And we're gonna go. Okay, it's Koa speed. Guys, it's Koa speed. Alright. I'm ready. I'm ready for Koa speed. XR Crescento Rampton, Bunny, Armani, and Koa hoping to get a point on the board for Team Pennsylvania. This is you know, backs up against the wall. Possible last opportunity to put a point up. Well, it is their last opportunity every time, I guess, but, you know, it feels silly to say that. Anyway, in we go. Florida has historically had some teams that were pretty good at speed. And adding in the new members that they did, I don't think is gonna... What the heck did Armani Dolo's cursor just do? Hello? Anybody else see that? Attorney client, you okay? But as I was saying, yeah, adding in the new players isn't going to change that. We'll see how it goes, though. Pennsylvania looking pretty strong as well through the early stages. And as I said, that Bunny Like Money will be their first player to break. The first player in the lobby to break. Koalea Q follows it up right after. Anytime you get a little bit of hope in your mind for this Pennsylvania team, they just seek out the most unfortunately timed misses. And now Florida jumps out to a 200,000 point lead. Halfway mark reached. Rampton with the immediate break. That opens the door up just a little bit. There's a crack, you know. Pennsylvania trying to get a toe in. But Armadillo breaks, and Florida slams that door right back shut. Might want to be seeing a doctor about that one. Toe shut in door. Possible fracture. Pennsylvania may be out for 6 to 8 weeks. We will await follow-ups from their medical staff. Double FC still for Exarch and Crescento. Rampton is having some trouble, but his accuracy is helping out. Exarch and Crescento also, by the way, 99.5 plus. Armani double up at 99.8. This is an easy enough map to act, but nonetheless, it's impressive to see those scores all over the board. And it's going to be possibly one lone FC in the lobby on Crescento as we come in toward the ending. Will he finish out the 99.6 AC FC? Well, yes, he will. Just to put the cherry on top of this rout for Florida, Crescento with another FC leading Florida to a 5-0 demolition of the opposing team. Pennsylvania goes down in very, very one-sided fashion. Pick'ems everywhere are feeling all right after that one. Florida gonna make the rest of the tournament sit up and take notice, as they do not appear to have lost so much as a step in the year's interval between their win and this round. Your winners, Exarch Digital Hypno Rampton, Almighty Door, Crescento, and Araxi by a 5-0 margin. They advance onward. Our first quarterfinalist team is Florida. They will await for quite some time, in fact. They'll have a week's delay to wait for the winner of Carolina versus Georgia, which should be a pretty solid match, actually. That'll be an interesting one. Meanwhile, that is Pennsylvania dropping down to the loser's bracket. They will face off against the team to be determined. It's going to be the winner of Alabama versus Minnesota. So I'm going to be able to right the ship in loser's bracket in a couple weeks' time when we get to quarterfinals week. So that's going to be it. All we had for this block, as mentioned. Just the one afternoon match for today, Saturday of the first of the 2 weeks of the round of 16. Florida taking home a 5-0 win, and takes us into a pretty lengthy break. It's going to be Kansas versus Indiana, followed up by Ohio versus Iowa in the winner's bracket. Both this evening, 1 and 2 a.m. UTC, also known as 9 and 10 p.m. Eastern, 6 and 7 p.m. Pacific time. Don't want to miss out. We'll get to see Ohio in action. We'll get to see Iowa after an upset win over Colorado in that winner's bracket match. Kansas versus Indiana. Pretty heavily favored, I think, to Kansas, but you never know. Indiana might be able to surprise us. And the only way to find out is to be there. Make sure you are following the stream when we go live in the Discord, get announcements. But for now, thank you all for watching. Congratulations, Team Florida, on a 5-0, very cleanly executed win over Team Pennsylvania. I've been this one guy, and we will see you tonight for the next couple matches here in round of 16 at USC 2022.